Okay, hello my lovelies. All right, so here I am in really the ultimate of my sacral chakra clothing. It's a beautiful long dress that I really don't get much chance to wear, but I'm going to wear it for you. And it reminds me of the front of this cover of this wonderful book, A Queen Adorned. A Queen Adorned. And I got this at the Seattle museum when I was there last summer, where they had a women's kind of women's fashion show through the, kind of how art and clothing has fashioned the world, but really in a very kind of spiritual sense. So it gives all the archetypes of women. And anyway, I just love that picture. Wanted to share that with you. So I am going to make you a book list, a written book list, but I thought I would talk about the books that I most love related to this sacral chakra area, and then you can decide, what's suitable for you and what isn't. Guys, there's my horns coming out here. Okay, so let's start with, this one I totally recommend for all of you. It's super easy reading. It's really playful and really fun. And if I could have written a book on this theme, it would have been something like this, okay? So it's Mama Gina's School of Womanly Arts, using the power of pleasure to have your way with the world. And it's actually a book written by this woman who has set up this group, and people all over the world join her, and it's life-changing, but she really just gets you to tap in to your pleasure being what is the most fun that you can have at this moment. What is the most pleasurable thing that you can be doing at this moment? How can I make this moment even more pleasurable? And that's how you should go through your life, lead in with that question that you're asking yourself. So I just jumped at this page 56, first line. You want to glow, you've got to have fun. I'll just leave that at that. Cheap, easy, simple read. She's written 2 or 3 books. I'd say everybody get that one. Okay, here we have the sexual teachings of the white tigress. Okay, this is very intriguing. So this book is written from the perspective of a female Taoist, a Taoist mistress, so trained in the arts of Taoism. And Taoism is all about longevity, immortality, through a lot of it through sacred sexual practices. And usually they've been presented by men, but in this lineage it comes from women. And she again was trained and practiced in these Taoist sexual secrets. There's also a partner book to this, which is, I think it's the sexual teachings of the green dragon, which is the male. Okay, so now what can I tell you about this book? It is very explicit and specific. It's about some sexual practices. It's about a little bit like on the being a concubine or a mistress, the skills, but about using your sexual expertise, especially in the arena of oral sex. So she really goes into deep explanation why women should practice oral sex for longevity. It's not about giving pleasure to the men. It's about gaining immortality for yourself through I won't go into any more detail, but anyway, it's a great read, and you're bound to learn some skills if you're interested. All right, so let me go into my next one. So this one is how to worship the goddess and keep your balls. And this is written by a friend of mine. Actually, he's an acupuncturist and herbalist and Taoist on the Big Island. He often writes herb books, but this one Better sex, deeper love, more intimacy. And he is talking about practices mostly from the male Taoist point of view. So a great book for women to read also, but if you're looking for a book to buy for a man in your life, this would be it. So lots of fun quotes, you know, so he's got pages like this with fun quotes on. To sit alone with my conscience will be judgment enough for me. Heavy quote. If men knew what women laughed about, they would never sleep with us. Anyway, full of quotes. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. That's a Lao Tzu quote. Lots of information, and then again, lots of practices from breath work and yoga practices, Taoist practices for better sex, deeper love, more intimacy. Okay, what else do I have? I have this great book, Taoist Foreplay. So this is written by Mantak Chia, and Mantak Chia is very, very famous Taoist. He's probably the most famous modern Taoist, and I think he's still alive. Anyway, he kind of really simplified and modernized ancient Taoist practices, and what it says in the back here, taught to Chinese emperors, their wives and their concubines for thousands of years, Taoist sexual techniques help lovers harmonize their cycles of pleasure and utilize the abundance of reproductive power that is otherwise wasted in non-procreative sex. So he talks about the meridians and the chakras and color, and then he talks, you know, gives acupuncture points on the body, and then, you know, he gives breathing practices and partner practices and a lot of things that you can do on your own. Self-care, self-shiatsu, self-massage. So another great book for our sacral chakra. All right, moving on a little. This one, I love this book. I had this book for years. It's called Aphrodite, a memoir of the senses. And Aphrodite, a memoir of the senses. And by Isabella Landi. Like a slow, seductive lover, Alanda teases, tempts and titillates with mesmerizing stories and legends about gluttony, sexually and otherwise. And she really invites us to delve into the senses of food, spices, aphrodisiacs, and there are recipes, there are ways to eat, there are fun pictures. It's a pretty deep book. Each chapter, let's see if I can read out some chapters for you. And she wrote this when she was 50, yeah. And there's a picture of, you know, I love that picture, naked out in the sun with all the vegetables in front of her. So, chapter, the spices in its variety. Next chapter, with the tip of the tongue, like how to eat sensually. Aphrodisiacs. Here's, that's actually a drink in a glass. And then there's recipes at the back. Aromatic sauce. Anyway, a really fun read if you're into the culinary arts and you want to combine that with the creative, passionate sexual experience of food and spices and eating. And this is a wonderful book. And last but not least, the hidden messages in water. So this is Dr. Emoto, Masaru Emoto, and he is the wonderful Japanese scientist that did all these amazing experiments on water and how water carries the frequency of words, and how different words and different musics change the crystalline structure of the water. And he was able to do photography that photographed crystals in different types of water, and which words form the best crystals and which didn't. And I've actually met Masaru Emoto. He came to Hawaii a few years ago. I think he's been here a few times, and we went to the Alawai Canal, which if you live here, is not very clean, and we went and blessed the water there. Anyway, he really changed science on so many levels, and how we speak to ourselves, how we speak to each other, and the fact that the frequency, not just of the words, but even in the way that those words are said. When I was a school teacher, we did experiments in school with the kids. We'd put bottles of water and write things on them like love, gratitude. So he said love and gratitude were the two most high frequency words. And then you might write hate on another one, and actually write nothing on another one. And add the 3 bottles that photograph the crystals. The one with nothing written on, the ones which were ignored, actually he shows came out pretty badly. Anyway, so the crystals for love and gratitude, the words love and gratitude, form the most beautiful crystals. I also have another of his books that comes with a CD. I use this in my clinic, and because he tested all the major bodies of water around the world and showed which crystals gave off, which kind of vibration, and which waters gave off which vibration. And then it's all classical music, but the CD's got beautiful picture of the crystals and some writing, and the CD also that goes with it. So check out his work, and it's just a reminder to always say a little prayer into your water before you drink it. Okay, so those would be my list of books that I loved. I've read them all cover to cover 1,000,000 times. A lot of the information I share with you comes from these books, and if you're interested, I'll write the links below. And if you've got any of the books you think we might like, then please let us know. All right, love you, happy reading.